What's going on?
I guess we'll just start. Not much. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Start at the top of your room with Dedrick. I mean, how much better of a place is he in, going into this year than last year, just, familiarity wise, scheme wise, and what do you think his senior season, can be like for you?
Well, he's definitely gotten a lot better over the past year, and you could see how much progress he made at the end of the year. And it was just more reps he was getting, understanding the footwork and the offense where the runs could hit. So he's done a really good job. He's been a leader in our room. Obviously, we're fairly young, experience wise, so he's got to be the bell cow. I expect a big senior year for him. He's going to have to carry a good amount of reps for us. But he's done really well up to this point. I know he's excited to keep getting better and get ready for the first game.
Next up, Sam McEwen, Omaha World Herald.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Hey.
Coach Frost said last night that you guys are going to have to start figuring out who your number two and number three are. He didn't mention any specific names for the number two and number three. And so my question is really broad. Could you break down a little bit the progress of some of the guys behind Dedrick, be that scholarship players or walk-ons, and the players who have impressed you and have maybe put themselves in a position to get carries behind Dedrick this year?
Well, the good thing this year compared to before is we actually have some depth and we have some good pieces to work with from a numbers perspective. I mean, when you talk about returning players, Ramir Johnson redshirted last year. We were able to save that. He's done a really good job this fall camp. He's gotten bigger, probably put on 10 pounds or so. He's being more physical, catching the ball better. His understanding of the offense is better, so he's definitely in the mix. Ronald Tompkins, we didn't know what that would look like, with his injury and everything, and he's come back and done really well up to this point. We just got to be smart with him, from a rep standpoint to make sure that we watch the pitch count, so to speak, with him. But he's a guy that it's good to see him out there. He hasn't done anything in a couple years, and so he's been able to, when we've done some physical stuff, been able to get out there and take some hits, which is good. And you can see some really good talent there that we're excited about. And then my freshman, Marvin Scott and Savion Morrison. Marvin has done really, really well up to this point. He really runs hard. He's a guy that's very physical. You can see in the different pictures probably out on there. He had tweeted out a picture yesterday. I mean, he looks like a senior in a freshman body right now because he's paid the price in the weight room and really put himself in position physically. The biggest deal with him, I just have to keep getting him going from a mental standpoint and footwork, because we have a lot of footworks that our guys need to do from a running game perspective. And then Savion Morrison is very talented as well, done a really good job. He's got really, really a bright future here. He's a guy that will definitely be in the mix as well. He just needs, just like Marvin, he's a freshman, just got to keep learning everything. A guy that's caught my eye, that's a walk-on kid that has really flashed in the fall, has been Cooper Jewett. He's done a lot of really good things. He can run. He's got great feet. Can run routes. So he's done a really good job as a walk-on kid. He goes out there and has really produced as well. So, and then we have Jacob Weinmaster as well as another walk-on that has done some really good things. I got a good group, but like Coach Frost said, we got to figure out how this is going to look. We got great competition. The beauty of it is we have some more time to keep going through practice, and you better have a fully loaded room, because you just don't know what's going to happen with everything going on. It's the next man up. I mean, 1 minute you might have a full room. The next minute you might have two guys in the room. So it's all hands on deck. You're never going to feel comfortable this year. You better have everybody ready, and that's been the process of my room, is trying to get everybody ready. But we will definitely need to narrow it down here as we get closer to Ohio State.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
The Athletic, Mitch Sherman. Go ahead, Mitch.
Hey, Ryan, a couple questions on the same subject. With the eligibility freeze this year, a little more wiggle room with your freshmen, how does that impact, your plan with those guys over 8 games when maybe you would have been looking for one of those guys at least to play only 4 in a normal year?
Well, again, that is nice to have that luxury, to be able to have everybody, all hands on deck. So I got to get all these guys ready to play, and they're one play away from being the number 1 guy or number 2 guy, etc. So that's our mentality, and with an 8-game, 9-game, 10-game with a bowl game season, you're going to need everybody, and it's a physical league, as we know. And we got to be able to run the ball and be able to do all the things that Coach Lubick and Coach Frost want to be able to do. So I got to get all these guys prepared for the grind, taking care of their bodies, and be prepared for, because there's no off weeks, right, unless you get banged and you don't get to play. So it's 8 straight weeks or 9 straight weeks where you got to be ready to roll. And so we got to embrace that and get our guys ready. But it is nice having that luxury of not having really to worry about, this guy's going to play these games and this guy's going to play these games. Let's roll and roll the ball out there and play.
And then along those lines, as the recruiting coordinator, are you pulling your hair out this fall? Can you just speak to some of the challenges with no official visits, not really sure about your seniors coming back next year, where scholarship numbers are going to be? How does all that factor into your job in the office?
Well, we've embraced what the situation is, all right, and everybody's dealing with it. Is it ideal? No, but what are you going to do? You got to figure out a way to make the most of it. So we've been doing different Zoom recruiting calls with guys, showing them some facility things, showing them academics, all the different areas that we feel we're at a championship level here at Nebraska. Just kind of chopping away at it. With each one of our guys in the 21 season, and then now we're working into 22. But yes, there are challenges, but you know what? You just find a way to get it done, and we have a lot to sell here, and so our recruiting department's done a great job of, and our graphic people and our video people putting together, presentations for these guys to where it's not in person, but it's really, really good, and it's been. The recruits have taken to it very well. We'll continue to tweak it as we go through in that process. But it's challenging because I think when kids get on our campus, they see all the great things, and that's a winning edge for us in the recruiting process. We've just had to adjust, just like every other program, and find ways to be creative and not complain about it, just figure out a way to get it done. And I think we've done a really good job up to this point. We feel good about the 21 class, what we have at this point. We're not done, and then obviously we got to be moving on to 22s to get that thing rocking and rolling. And our guys have been working hard with that as well. It'll be nice for us to play here in a couple weeks, 2.5 weeks, so then recruits can see us, on TV as well. That will help because obviously we haven't played yet, but that'll really help to be on TV and be seen.
All right, we got 3 more here lined up for Coach Held. We'll take those. Brian Christopherson, Nebraska 24/7.
Hey, Ryan, in a guy like Ronald Tompkins' situation, how have you just seen him, get through it, persevere? And as a coach, what are you doing for a guy like that when he's got to take a long view where he doesn't know exactly when he's going to get back?
Well, Ronald, he's been through a lot now, and there was a point where you never knew if he was going to be able to come back, and he's really persevered. He's really, fought through some adverse times, because he was as talented as anyone in America coming out of high school, and whether he would play or not, nobody knew. But, he's really relied on his perseverance, and, he's had good days and bad days, just like anybody going through that process. But I've been very impressed with him. He's had a really good attitude. And there's a motivational aspect of it that we have to do, just to be, talking on a day-to-day basis. And, he's done a really good job mentally because there's been times, obviously, he hasn't been able to do things physically, but he still can get the mental part of it and do that. But he's done really well, but it's a long season. We got to be smart with his reps, but I do think that he's a guy that can help our football team. But I'm pushing him just like I'm pushing all these other guys, and I'm not even the age doesn't matter to me because the freshman guys got to grow up quickly. That's just the way our room is. And you look at our room, we just have some young guys that need to be ready to rock and roll. And so these practices have been physical. And so that's been good for us as we prepare for a physical football season that we're going to have here down the road in the Big Ten.
Also, Nebraska 24/7, Michael Bruns.
Hey Ryan, you mentioned Ramir Johnson. What do you feel like he kind of got out of last year and kind of the limited work that he got, and also maybe what does he bring to that group that's maybe unique in your room?
Well, I think when you go through the process, he got to travel on the road, so he got to see what it's like to go on the road and go through that process. Obviously, he was down with us getting reps on the varsity throughout the year, so he was getting game plans, each week. And then he kind of had to be on call. That's a very tough deal when I'm like, well, you might play this week and you might not play this week, and it's kind of back and forth. And then we had injury here, and well, be ready, and then you didn't play in the game, and so psychologically that's not an easy thing. But when you're a competitor, you got to be ready to go. And we were prepared to burn the red shirt if we had to, and he knew that. But we were able to salvage it, which was nice. But there was ups and downs of just being ready and not playing in the game, and then he played one rep in the game, and it just one of those weird deals that as we got used to how the red shirt thing worked, and my room was just kind of up and down at times with injuries and different things, obviously, and but he did a really good job. And what does he bring? Skill set wise, well, I think he brings a nice speed factor to it. He's a guy that can run and give us a threat that can be a big play capability. But he needs to continue to keep working and grinding and figuring out where the cuts are going to be in his footwork and fighting through. And he's tired, and just like everybody else, because it was a unique year. We didn't have the luxury of a normal summer, and it was going to happen, not going to happen. And so now these guys are now full go, and so they've had to embrace the different challenges as we've gone through this to get ready for our first game.
All right, and last one for Coach Held, Sean Callahan, Husker Online.
Hey, Coach, just curious, with Wandale Robinson, a year ago, you guys had to use him a lot as a running back. How much do you guys kind of discuss that? And I mean, do you see him being more full-time receiver, or do you have to work with him still in the backfield and kind of stay sharp in that area as well?
No, he's going to be majority receiver. There'll be some different things we can do with him, but he's our slot receiver, and he's very dynamic, and he's really gotten better in the offseason. I don't plan on him being in the backfield very much. We can game plan some different things here and there, but his game is going to be slot receiver and doing his thing from that end. But obviously he's very talented. It can do a lot of different things, but we feel very good about what we have at the running back position to where he can really focus on helping us at that slot receiver and all the different things that position brings offensively, where there's a chance to make a lot of big plays on our offense. No Sipple today? Not here?
Oh, he's up there.
What's that?
He's in there.
Okay, no questions from Sipple. I'm surprised. Jeez. Gotcha.
All right, thanks, Coach Held.
right.
We'll be back, Coach Verduzco, in a minute. First question for Mario will be Aaron Sorensen. He'll just a second.